What's up, people? Welcome to Bajan Lifestyles. Today we are back at the beach, Pebbles Beach, and we are going to go freediving with Alex Davis. He is a 9-time champion, freediving champion, and a spearfishing guide. So, are you ready? Because I'm ready to get back on the water.
Ready to get your balls at?
Yes.
This water is cold. Good Lord. Yeah.
Directly under the boat is probably about 110 feet. By the time we jump in, it's going to be closer to 130, 140. The whole idea is that when someone's down diving, there's at least one person on the surface, if not two, that's watching over them should anything happen. Then you've got someone on the surface who's fresh, who isn't holding their breath, that they could potentially dive down and grab someone if needed. Yeah, it gets a little just bouncy. Yeah. Because you know, when you're on the beach looking out, you're like, oh, it's nice and calm. Yeah. When you're actually out here, half a mile out, as you can see, you've got these sort of ocean swells kind of moving through. So this just has rope in it. This big bag here. Figure 8. That one there. I mean, we usually get a bit of distance back because over the time we're out here, the boat's gonna swing. We're gonna swing. Yeah. We need enough line so that when we swing, we don't end up right next to the boat. We don't coming up and hitting their heads and stuff like that.
So as a freediver takes their full breath at the surface, they are, trying to stay relaxed. They're trying to do their absolute best to keep any, negative thoughts or bad vibes out of their head. And we are just trying to breathe slowly and relax on the surface. We take a very large inhale. We're trying to utilize the full capacity of our lungs. We take our big full breath, we remove our snorkel from our mouth, and then we begin our dive. So you can see here that I'm going down the rope. Of course, there's not much to see in the footage because we're out in deep water and it's just the rope that we're going up and down. So you can see in the bottom right corner the depth ticking over as I'm going deeper and deeper. You'll also notice the colors changing a little bit. But during this dive, I'm trying to maintain my relaxation. You see that I'm not looking down, I'm not looking where I'm going. I'm trying to keep my head in a nice neutral, relaxed position. I'm slowly pulling on the rope, I'm equalizing my ears. The air inside of my body is shrinking rapidly. For perspective, if I start with a full breath at the surface, when I reach 30 meters, 100 feet deep, that air that I took at the surface is now only 25% of its original size. And mostly we're just trying to stay relaxed and enjoy the sensation of the water rushing over our faces. We're trying to enjoy the breath hold, that nice tight hug that we get from the ocean when we get down nice and deep.
We're here today on the waters with champion Barbados. How many times? 8? 9. 10 this year. 2021. Doing big things. Training in the background, as you can see. But you guys are here along for the ride. As you can see, how glad the boat is rocking. Feel like we're on a roller coaster that never ends.
Here. Once we've reached the bottom, in this case I'm doing a training dive. I'm going down trying to do what we call a hang, so I'm trying to extend my time at the deepest point of the dive. You can see I'm reaching about 40 meters deep here. That's about 140 feet. And my goal on this session is just to try and increase the dive time. So I'm trying to hold my breath, whilst being at depth. I'm building up my adaptation for when I'm going to be doing super deep dives in competition, where the dives will take, 3 minutes at least to perform. So here I'm trying to do my best to simulate, the time that it would take to perform one of these big deep free dives. On my way back up to the surface now, I am, again, trying to maintain my relaxation. I'm keeping my head nice and loose, my shoulders nice and loose. I'm just trying to stay relaxed all the while. My chest is thumping. My diaphragm is moving up and down, trying to initiate a breath. The CO2 in my blood is rising and my brain is picking up on the CO2 and it's screaming at me, telling me, oh my God, Alex, breathe, breathe. So we always must remember that when we get that urge to breathe, it has absolutely nothing to do with oxygen. It's not because your oxygen is running low or running out. This is simply because your carbon dioxide, your CO2 level, is rising quite sharply.
How was it? Good?
Great. Fantastic as always. Back of it, our line's down. All of a sudden you got a nice straight rope, and then as this boat starts to pull, all of a sudden I got a banana. So then we have to pause, let it stabilise, let it get straight again. Graceful, Ben, graceful. What? Your boat entry.
I derive no greater pleasure than just being in the ocean, holding my breath, being completely peaceful, listening to the sounds, whether that's, the clicks from all the lobsters and groupers on the bottom, whether it's the distant wailing of a whale or a dolphin. Sometimes we hear the whales even though they're 20 miles away. We hear them when we're going up and down our line. Sometimes we hear noises from the boat engines that are out fishing, could be a few miles away. Sometimes we hear them. And we're just trying to absorb all of this around us, maintain our relaxation, and really just try and focus on enjoying the experience.
So we're here with Alex Davis, and he's just coming from a training session.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I grew up in the southwest of the UK, so I grew up in a little seaside town, grew up surfing. I was a junior lifeguard for many years. Loved to be in the sea. It's very different. It's very cold, very murky.
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
It's very cold.
So coming here and having, well, it's not that blue today, but coming here and having blue water, you can go out in a pair of shorts. I was like, yeah, love this. And that was it. That sort of also led me into the diving right there. It was just that love of the ocean, and then it being so blue and warm was like, okay. I sort of almost lost interest right away in surfing, because I'm like, I was always on the surface riding a board, and now it's like I can see all the way to the bottom. Now I want to get down there instead. So the sort of mentality changed with the conditions, right?
And since you are, well, you don't like the word champion, but I'll use it. Free dive champion.
Yes.
9 times.
9 times.
9 times.
Barbados, yeah.
And we're going to make it 10 this year, yeah? We're going to make it 10.
Or a few more maybe.
Yes. When and how did you get into freediving? So it's based around when you came to Barbados then?
Yeah, so it was within, I don't know, a few weeks of moving here. I went spearfishing for the first time. When I first moved here, I was living just down the road from Blakey's, and almost every day I'd walk the boardwalk, and I would almost every day see spearfishermen with guns and fish, and kind of got a bit of an interest in that, and I was like, that looks like fun. I get to catch dinner, I get to dive, I get to shoot. It's everything I like. So I got into spearfishing that way, and then it was that sort of desire to want to go deeper, stay down longer. You see all these big fish sometimes really deep and they run away, and you're like, man, if only I could get really deep, I could potentially take that for dinner. So it was that initial drive of like wanting to go more. And then 2013 I started Spearfishing Barbados. Almost every time I'd get out the water, I'd have my gun, my fish, people would stop me and ask like, what have you done? Or where did you go? Or what fish are those? And I thought to myself, when I started spearfishing, if there was somebody here offering a service that would give you all the equipment to use, show you how to do it, take you out, in order that you could learn much faster, I would have signed up for that. So I said, well, why don't I do that? And that's how it started.
Lovely, love it. What is the process like when you're training for the competitions?
Mostly we break it down to different phases. We have base training, which is phase 1. We have phase 2, which is base and specific, and then lastly we have specific. So depending on how much time you have, so I had about 6 months to train for this competition. So we had 2 months of base training, which was really just home workouts, light weights, just general toning kind of workouts. Then as we got into month 3 and 4, we started doing more specific stuff. So for example, one of the styles of freediving we do, we call it free immersion. It's where we use our hands to pull down the line. So we don't use fins or anything, we just pull with our hands.
Nice.
So then when I go to the gym, or my home gym in the garden, kind of like a cable machine, I'll take a big thick piece of rope and I'll tie it onto the cable machine, and I'll sit on the floor and I'll do the same pulling action, as if I was doing a dive. So I'm still doing basic training like with gym equipment,
Yeah.
but the motions that I'm performing are more specific to what I do in the sea.
Exactly.
Now today we're in the sort of last 3-4 weeks before I leave to go to the Bahamas. Today I was doing what we call hangs. So I was sitting at the bottom. The bottom today was about 42 meters. The last dive was 45 meters. So I was going down, sitting on the bottom on the sand, and just hanging out for as long as I can.
Oh my goodness.
Not pushing it too crazy hard.
Yeah.
I still need to be safe, and I've got more than one of those to do. And then come back up. So to give you an example, my last dive was 45 meters deep, and it was 60 seconds that I was on the sand. So the total dive time I think was 2 minutes 30 something. But 60 seconds of that was at 40 meters is what, 135 feet, 140 feet, something in that range. The idea being when we do really deep dives, so my deepest dive for Barbados is 92 meters, which is 300 feet. That dive takes about 3 minutes to complete. So today the idea is to dive with the depth that I have and to try and get the dive time up as if I was doing a really deep dive. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, yes.
So it can be tricky to structure training for something that's such a niche sport as this one. So like today, for example, the idea was just longer dive times, so that when I do go to the Bahamas and I am doing deep dives, I'm already accustomed to the 2.5 minutes that I'm going to be doing a dive for, that I'm going to be doing a breath hold for. So you kind of just make it up as you go along sometimes. But we do try and set some structure in place with the exercises that we do and when we do them. We don't do the crazy long breath holds at the beginning of training. We do that towards the end, right?
So,
yes.
How long? What's your longest record for holding your breath?
So we have different styles. So what I mostly specialize in or perform in is depth freediving, where we just go down deep. And we have different styles in which we do that.
Okay, so depth also ties into length of time because of pressure?
No. So with depth freediving, the main idea is, depending on which style in which you are diving, whether you're using fins, a monofin, pulling with your hands, or you're doing it completely no fins, the main idea being to go deep, reach a target depth, and then come back up. And you're not really spending time down there, you're just going down, you get to the end of the line. In competition, we grab a piece of Velcro from the end of the line, and that proves that I made it.
Yeah.
And the rope is already preset. So it's not just like a long line and you go as deep as you want. No, it's preset. So that's kind of what I do. The style of freediving we call static apnea. That's where you float in a pool, face down, you do nothing, you just float on the surface, and you go for the longest time possible. That's what we call pool freediving. Okay. Which I do for training, but it's not something I do competitively. I enjoy training in the pool, but I don't derive a lot of pleasure from breath holding in the pool, whereas today I was sitting at the bottom, looking at fish, they were coming up to me. To me, that's where my happy place.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Staring at the tiles in the pool, it's good for training, but I don't get happiness out of that.
No.
I get satisfaction from training, but it doesn't make me smile.
Yeah.
Right?
So I love this suit, it looks amazing on you, and I see you've got some, are these sponsors for you?
Yeah, so the suit is actually Canadian made, it's handmade, custom suit. My sponsor is called Cashew. This is a gentleman who's been living in Barbados for a long time now. He has lots of different philanthropic activities that he does. He actually became a student of mine many years ago. Fell in love with freediving, and one day I proposed to him, hey, I would like to compete. I got my Barbados citizenship in 2016, so I became a Barbados citizen with a passport and everything, and decided, man, I'd love to compete and represent Barbados.
Yeah.
So he, from back as early as 2017, said, we'll sponsor you, and the suit is one of the things, and he helps me get to the Bahamas, helps to, it's very expensive to do the competition, and even if I did win first place across the board, it still wouldn't give me enough prize money to pay to go. So I get a lot of help from Ryan Pennell, which is his name at Cashew, and honestly, without him and without Ryan's help, I really couldn't do it. I really couldn't do it.
Amazing. So good to know that there are people supporting you in your endeavors, yeah?
Yep, Ryan also from Cashew works, or has worked, very closely with the Ryan Trust Foundation with a lot of local projects as well. So it's not just athletes, it's also local philanthropic endeavors as well at the same time. So seeing his history with helping out the island, he moved here with his family a long time ago, and seeing his kind of dedication to help various projects around the island, I just feel blessed to be one of those projects.
Part of it,
yeah, get to represent his company, and by product he gets to represent Barbados through me. So yeah, it's a lovely relationship.
Lovely. Okay, so tell us about the competition coming up. When is it? Where is it? Give us the details.
Yep, so it's called Vertical Blue. It's in Long Island, Bahamas. It's done at a place called Dean's Blue Hole. It's a 202 meter, 660 feet deep blue hole. Yep. It's was for a long time the deepest blue hole in the world. It's technically now the second deepest. They found another one.
Nice.
So I'll be on day 1 of the event. Starts on July 13th. It's 9 days of competition. I get 6 dives to do anything I like, as deep or as shallow as I like. My main goal is not necessarily to try and win the competition, because I've already looked at who's coming and we've kind of got the best of the best coming, of which I am not quite yet.
Are you sure?
No, definitely. We've got a good friend of mine, Alexei Molchanov, world record holder in multiple disciplines. He's going to be there, so when you see names like that, you're like, I'm going to go and do my best, but I'm not hoping for any sort of podium. I'm just going to do Barbados stuff. So my main goal is national records. So for me, I just want to improve upon my previous national records. So the deepest is 92, that's with the monofin. So if people ask me what's your goal this year, my goal is 93. If I do 94 or more,
lovely.
Big thumbs up, but in my mind I would just like to do 1 meter more, a new record. More than that, great. And if anything goes wrong in training and I don't, so be it.
Well, I wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
I'm quite certain you will do very, very well.
I hope so.
You're going to hit that 10 and do good for Barbados and for yourself, for your own record.
Yeah.
Okay, so you love Barbados.
Yes.
Give us, have you picked up a Bajan accent, is it?
Only when I drink.
Only when you drink.
Which is not often, but sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So give us your best.
No. I wouldn't want to embarrass myself. You'd have to see me out
let's see.
Red Door or something if you want that to come out. So English humor's pretty dry, sometimes ironic, whatever. When people use the RH phrase.
Hi, I'm Di Brown, and this is Soul PSA.
Yeah.
I like to pretend I don't understand and say, rat's what? A rat's butthole? I don't know, it's just my little way of
using the RH.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone sees that RH, they know exactly what it means, and they know pick up your damn litter.
It's an adjective, a noun, a verb, it's everything. Yes. Okay, so for persons who are thinking of moving to Barbados, what would you say? What advice would you give them? How do they start? Just a quick how to go about moving to Barbados.
Wow, okay.
Or why should they move to Barbados?
Well, I think the answer to why should they, the real answer is why not?
Why not?
Obviously the why not part comes down to logistics, government, administration, that sort of thing.
Money.
Yes, definitely. But there's really no reason. If you like the climate, which I do, I've always loved the warm humidity. I love the ocean, so that's a huge plus. And the people are great. I mean, 2008, I was sort of blown away by just how friendly everyone was. Growing up and vacationing in Europe and whatever else, or even going to London. If you walk down the street in London and say morning,
really,
suddenly people grab their bags super tight because they're not, they're not accustomed to it. But here and I very quickly fell in love with that. The person's not asking me for my name and number; they're just saying good morning. But you just don't get that in the UK, or at least you kind of do where I'm from in the little southwest. It's a bit more rural, but it's just everyone's so damn friendly. You really can't help but not want to come back, right? You never leave feeling like, well, I'm never going back there again. You always leave being like, over so soon?
Yeah.
So I had to move it.
I like that.
So how do you find me?
Yeah.
So my business is called Freediving Barbados. The thing and the place. That's it.
Yeah.
We also do spearfishing charters. That's Spearfishing Barbados. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. If you put the keyword and the place, that's
all
me.
there.
It's easy to find. So yeah, Instagram at Freediving Barbados, Facebook.com/Freediving Barbados. Same for the spearfishing as well. We just keep it all simple.
Nice.
Easy peasy.
Nice.
No worries.
Okay guys, thanks for watching. As usual, don't forget to subscribe and I will see you in the next one.
Thank you guys.